Welcome back to episode 2 of Miracle Mindset for Men. I'm your host, Heru Dre, aka Dre, aka Handsome Heru. It's my new nickname. So a couple of days ago, we talked about the introduction and we talked about, miracles. Today's episode is about acceptance and forgiveness. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right into it. So what I like to do, everything that I do, I like to give a definition of the word or the subject that we're talking about. So the word forgiveness simply means it implies actively letting go of resentment towards someone who wronged you, while acceptance means acknowledging the reality of a situation, including a harmful action, without necessarily letting go of a negative emotions or restoring a relationship with the person involved. Okay, so now we got that out the way. So let's get into it. So let's talk about acceptance. Now, a lot of times we live in a domesticated process life. And what domestication is basically you've been trained to be a certain way for other people and not for yourself. And a lot of times we are molded by our environment, our friends, our family, our peers, stuff like that. We are everything for them except for ourselves. Okay? So the acceptance part, a lot of times we go through trials and tribulations and it seems like, we let our emotions get the best of us and we have to learn how to control our emotions. Real quick, I want to share a brief story about something that I heard about a month ago, I think. A young lady lost her life to an ex-boyfriend. From what the story was saying, basically, she didn't want to be involved with him anymore. He couldn't take rejection. So, he kind of couldn't control himself and he took her life. And she was a mother too. And when I heard the story, it was like a switch in me that was like, you know what? The time is now to help the men control themselves and be better men, not for themselves, but for the women that they're involved with or for their friends or for their peers or whatever. And I think it's very important that we learn how to have self-control and learn how to take rejection. And this is where I want to talk about the acceptance part. You got to learn how to accept yourself, meaning that you got to learn how to accept the good things about yourself, the bad things about yourself, the fucked up shit about yourself, and the best things about yourself. I remember reading the book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. Joe Dispenza talked about writing a list of all of your good qualities and all your bad qualities and, focus on the good qualities and try to make that your reality, right? And all of the bad qualities, that you have them, but you want to make sure that you are trying your best to live above them. You can never get rid of your bad qualities. You learn to simply live above your lower self. And you want to get in your higher self and stay in your higher self as much as possible. And I'm not saying that it's the easy thing because it's a challenge for all of us. And this is the part where you have to accept who you are and how you are. And once you learn how to accept yourself for your flaws and everything that you got going on in your life, then you can work on the forgiveness part. Okay? So the forgiveness part is you have to forgive yourself for how you are, the things that you've done and stuff like that. What you've done in the past is the past. You can't change anything in the past. You can't change anything in the future. Because a lot of times we are always thinking about the past and we're trying to figure out what our future is going to be. But a lot of times we have to focus on the moment at hand, stay in the present to be present. Because if you're not present, you're not going to be present. You know what I mean? So it's important that you forgive yourself. You have to forgive yourself for all of the bad things you've done in your life. You got to forgive yourself for the negative thoughts. You got to forgive yourself for trying to be perfect. You got to forgive yourself for expecting everybody else to be perfect. You have to accept everybody for who they are. But it all starts within you. You have to accept yourself. When you can accept yourself, you can accept everybody else. However, you can accept people, but you don't have to support the things that they do. Acceptance and support is two different things. I accept the economy we live in. I don't support it, but I'm adjusting to it, and I'm just trying to make a better way for myself and in my life. And it's very important that the acceptance part is it's really key to getting to the forgiveness part. Because once you accept who you are, how you are, flaws and all, then you can get to the forgiving part. And I believe that forgiveness is probably one of the most hardest things you can ever do, is to forgive yourself, because you have to look in the mirror and you're reminiscing and thinking about all of the things that you did in your life. And it's like, damn, I wish I could have did better. Or I wish I could have did this differently. And at the end of the day, it's like, okay, you're not perfect. You're gonna make mistakes. And a lot of times we're trying to always change things that's out of our control. And we have to learn how to control things that is in our control, and that's ourself. I mean, it's not an easy thing, because I've been that man who has definitely let my emotions get the best of me. And I'm just grateful that I went and sought out help to learn how to, become more emotional mature and emotionally intelligent. Like, you have to learn how to live above your emotions and start thinking of a logical way of what it is that the situation is that you want to handle in a better way. And I remember I learned this from Dr. B. Serious, I think it's like a year and a half ago. He talked about think 5 times before you act or speak. And that was an interesting thing, because a lot of times we do grow up and they always tell us, the parents or the elders would say, think before you speak, think before you do, think before you act. And it's like, when you think 5 times, like when you get to that first and second thought, you still have that, I'm still want to do it, or I'm still going to say it. When you get to it, thinking of it like the 3rd or 4th time, it's like you kind of forget what it was that you were going to do or say. And then by the 5th time, you completely forgot what you was going to do or say. So it's kind of like one of those things, like you have to always be in control of your own mindset. And it's very important that when you're in control of your own mindset, that's when you become more powerful. Nobody has power over you when you can control yourself, you don't let others control you. And that's a very important thing. And that's the part where you have to learn how to accept yourself. And when you accept yourself, that's when the power you start getting all the power. Because then you understand, like, nobody can tell me nothing about me that I don't already know. And a lot of times we live in a society where people are always looking for something bad in somebody. I don't know where it came from. I don't know how it started, but it seemed like that's just how it's always been since I've been around. So once you accept yourself, and then you say, okay, this is how I am. What can I do to better myself? What it is I can do to become the person that I desire to be. Not that I want to be, but what I desire to be. And then once you focus on that person, that man you want to be, or you desire to be, you got to persist in it. You have to feel as if you're already that person. And there's like a technique, psychology studies that when you practice something for 30 days, it becomes a habit and it becomes your life. And then when you get to the 60 days, you actually become exactly what it was you was practicing, where it's already recorded in your subconscious mind. So then you already became a whole new person, right? So that's another thing that's very important about the accepting part. So then after you accept yourself, then we talk about the forgiveness. Now you have to forgive all of the things that you've done in your past, good or bad, I mean, we've all done some bad shit in our life, and that's okay. As long as you didn't kill nobody, it's okay. Lives can't be replaced. You can replace material things. So the forgiveness part now, there is techniques and steps to learn how to forgive yourself, but the first step to forgiveness is acceptance. And then once that is established, then you can forgive yourself. And sometimes whoever you wrong, Ask them for forgiveness. But make sure you forgive yourself first, because whether they forgive you or not, as long as you know that you made the effort to, reach out and try to correct something that was incorrect, you try to right or wrong, and you can't expect people to always forgive you. Some people might want to hold on to grudges, and that's okay. I mean, that has nothing to do with you. As long as you took the step forward to reach out and ask for forgiveness, and then if they want to accept your forgiveness, then cool. If they don't, that's cool too. But at the end of the day, you are numero uno. Everything starts with you. It's like you treat yourself how you want to treat other people, right? And if you feel like you love yourself so much, you wouldn't have no problem loving somebody else. And that's another topic I would get into like in another episode, because that word love, that's a very tricky thing to talk about. But the self-love thing, for sure, you have to learn to love yourself. And a few things that you can do to start off, for the fellas out there, change your diet. If you're eating a lot of meat, drinking a lot of tap water, or you're drinking a lot of pop or alcohol, just start with changing the diet first. Because that way you can clear your mind. You can, decalcify your pineal gland, get those neurons firing in the right positive aspect of your life. So that way you're always focused on trying to better yourself, right? Because when you eat better, you feel better. Second thing, work out. You ain't got to be a bodybuilder. You ain't got to, enter a physique competition or nothing like that. Just, it helps you release stress and anger. It's like when you go into the gym, it's like you're in another time and space. Like you're in a whole another timeline. Like it's just you and the people that's in the gym. Because just like you might be going through something in the gym, there's other people that's going through something in the gym too. And, and that's a perfect place where you can create a brotherhood for yourself. And that's another thing I'm going to talk about in another episode, is brotherhood. Because it's very important for men to have a brotherhood. You need men in your life, strong men, not the weak ass men, not the not the men who just feel like they gonna bash you for everything and not help you. You want men who are looking to help you and looking to help themselves. So it's always important to make sure you have the right people around you. Third thing, take yourself out on a trip. Wherever you wanted to go, just take that trip. I think it's something like you want to get away from an environment for a while and refresh and restart and stuff like that. That's very important. I took a lot of trips last year. It was great. I felt like a new man every time I came back from wherever I was going. It's great. The fourth thing, invest your money. Don't worry about what the next man is doing. And don't worry about the lifestyle that they live in. You don't know what they've been through. So you can't judge based off of where they're at now, because you never know how they started. Focus on you. You got to have blinders on. Okay? You ain't looking that way. You ain't looking that way. You looking dead ahead. You got to be focused. Okay? And number 5, read a book. I have a book I want to suggest to the fellas. The Way to the Superior Man. It's a very, very good book. It helps you about discipline, about focus. And there was one particular thing in here that I really like. And I was just reading this earlier too. It says, know your real edge and don't fake it. A lot of times we sit and procrastinate about what we want to do in life and what we're going to be in life, instead of just imagining what it is that you want in life or desire in life. Just go do it. The first step to success is to take the first step. Okay? You just gotta go for it. And I think once you learn how to just do what it is that you want to do and not procrastinate about it, I promise you, your life will change. Your life is definitely going to change. So I think that was 5 things. I've been on here for 17 minutes. And the last thing I want to say is that it's okay not to have your life together. You have your whole life to get your life together. You have your whole life to get your life together. So wherever it is that you want to be in life, just know that you're going to get there. And when you're going to get there, that's all up to you. It's not an overnight thing, but you got to understand that blessings come with the work that you put in. You just don't get blessed out of nowhere. Blessings come from the work that you put in. So, another thing I want to talk about is the mental rehearsal. Like, if you really want to change yourself and change who you are and where it is that you want to be, you want to do a mental rehearsal. Mental rehearsal is making moves that will run you to the right people and that have you in the right places and the mindset to achieve your goals. And when you do that, when you change you, and then you start attracting the people or the change that you wanted to be, and then they help you, and then you become a better man every day. You get more resources. You become more resourceful. And speaking of a book too, it's also a movie I want the man out there to go see. And I just watched this like a month ago. It was very inspirational. You can take what you can out of it. If you're religious or not, it doesn't matter. It's called The Forge. It's a very, 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 very good movie. And it's about men mentoring men and creating a fellowship, aka brotherhood. I think that's something that will be a good watch. It's about a 2-hour movie. It's on Netflix. So if you got Netflix, know somebody who got Netflix, check it out. If you got 2 hours to spare in your day, let's watch the movie. It's a tear-jerking movie for sure. It almost got me a little bit, just a little bit. It almost got me, but it's a very good movie. Just let you know that people don't give up on you when they see potential in you. People don't give up on you when they see that you want to change. And a lot of times, people see themselves in you, and when they see themselves in you, they know that I can get this person to where I'm at to be just like me or even better or greater, So I think that's very important. And I think that is all that I wanted to talk about. We got 20 minutes in. I think 20 minutes was a good enough time. I appreciate everybody who tuned in live. I appreciate everybody who watched the last video. I'm grateful for being in this opportunity, this space and time to actually share my perspective and point of view on things to try to help you help yourself. The next episode 3, I will probably do this Thursday, same time, 7 o'clock. It'll probably be the last episode for this month. And then the 4th episode I will be doing next weekend in Atlanta. So that's gonna be it's gonna be exciting. So I hope everybody has a good night. Hope you learned something from this live. If you got any questions, comments, concerns, I'll try my best to answer DMs because I don't answer text messages. And I hardly answer my DMs, but I'm trying to get better at that because I really just don't like texting or typing. Like, if you want to know something really, I would just like for you to just call me. So, yeah, and I also want to leave y'all on one last thing, too. Because I got a bunch of notes down, so I be writing shit. It's something that I learned, and I think that this is very important. And this is about changing and taking control of your emotions. It's called the breath. It is very important when feeling challenged by emotions and feelings in the present moment, we must breathe. This also causes the subconscious mind to pause playing background pre-recorded emotional programming and to record the new energy of the present. Deep breathing is a reset that snaps us into the present moment. So, all right, that was it. That was my TED Talk. That was the end of episode 2. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Like it, share it, comment on it. I'm gonna look at the comments and stuff like that. And I will